I will tell you my story. My story gets me a little fired up here. Tonight, I'm going to tell you all about Debbie. You know, you may think that you have had the worst boss in the world. I'm telling you right now, you have not, because you didn't have Debbie. Debbie was the worst. So years ago, I had an office job, and Debbie didn't even want them to hire me because she said I didn't have experience. Now, about half of our department was hired right out of college, so he had experience. It was an excuse. I don't know. She just had it out for me from the very start. She was a micromanager. Her breath was atrocious. I'm talking dragon breath. She was just mean. No one liked her. Ugh. The worst thing that I remember her doing to me was she took away the one thing I liked about my job. So they let me do these product trainings, and I loved it because the way I would do it, it was kind of like half product training and half stand-up comedy all blended together. It was a hit. Everybody loved it, and I actually enjoyed doing it. She took it away from me, and she said it was because there was a drop in my productivity, which we know was a lie because I was never productive, ever. So anyway, I remember even trying to talk to her about, hey, give me a chance to keep it and make things better. And she said, nope, decision was already made. I hated Debbie. Till this day, I hate Debbie. So anyway, one day, Debbie comes into my cubicle. I don't even know what she was complaining about. She was always complaining about something, nitpicking every single small thing. And I had a neighbor, a cubicle neighbor, right on the other side of the tall cubicle wall named Sasan. And all day long, Sasan and I, we would pass time by talking shit on other people. So I'd be like, clickety, 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 clack, enter. And she'd be like, clickety, 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 clack, enter. Clickety, clickety, clack. We would just go back and forth like this all day long. We passed the time. We made the job bearable. And so as soon as Debbie left my cubicle, I got to work. I'm like, I hate when she comes to my fucking cubicle with her stinking breath, talking all that shit. She is the love child of Bin Laden and Queen Ursula. Enter. And I didn't hear the typical tee-hee-hee-hee-hee, clickety-clickety-clack. Now, I know I sent was a solid joke. So I'm like, what's going on, Sasan? So I get up and I walk over and I'm like, hey, Sasan, what's up? You didn't get my message? As what message? I'm like, open up your messenger. I sent it. It's pretty funny. I think you'll like it. She said, I didn't get a message from you. And I'm like, no, come on. There's no way. You know what I'm thinking. And I'm walking back to my cubicle, praying. I sit down. I pull up the messenger. I look at the to box and I see Debbie. I wanted to die. I hated my job, but I needed my job. And Debbie always wanted to get rid of me. And this is exactly what would have done the trick. It was just giving her more ammo. I didn't know. I was embarrassed. I felt stupid. I'd seen this type of thing happen on sitcoms and stuff, but never in real life. Come on. I couldn't believe that I actually did that. But there was hope, because I remember hearing that there was some way that if you retrieve a message before the person on the receiving end opened it, then when they tried to click on it, it would just say return to sender or some iteration of that. So I get up and I haul ass over to Anish's desk. Now, Anish was our IT guy. If anybody could fix this problem, it was Anish. To his desk, and there's no Anish. They tell me that Anish is on his lunch break. And I'm pissed off. I'm like, come on, man. You're an IT dude. Your job is a lunch break. How are you not here when I need you? What's going on? So I'm walking back to my cubicle and I'm thinking, I'm like, shit. What do I do? Boom, it hits me. I sit down and I start typing. I open it back up and I'm like, ha. Debbie, you caught me talking trash about my coworker, Sasan. I hate when she comes to my cube, but we joke like this all the time. Enter. And I'm looking, and you can tell when someone has opened up your message. So I see that she got it, but there's no response. And minutes are going by like hours and there's no response. I'm shitting bricks. My stomach's, it's dropped all day long. No response. I go home. I'm thinking about it all night. I barely get any sleep. I come back to work the next day and there's a meeting for our team. A meeting. I send one little message and now we got this big meeting. So I go in, I'm sitting down and Debbie starts. She says, guys, there's going to be some major changes around here. And I'm like, oh my, major change? I said, it wasn't even to you. You took it personally. And she says, not everyone is going to be here. I'm like, oh my God. So I'm getting fired because of this. This is because I'm black. This is because I'm black. I see some soundbite, all kinds of shit, and she's still here. And Tim, I've seen Tim steal stuff. And Tim can stay, but I gotta go because I wrote this message. It wasn't even to you. I'm freaking out at this point. I'm thinking she's about to embarrass me in front of everybody and fire my ass for this dumbass message that I sent. But then Debbie says, there's downsizing in our department and they're going to have layoffs. So I'm like, oh, wow. I thought it was just me getting fired, but it's everybody. Y'all getting fired. Somehow it just felt better because it seemed like we were all going down together. I don't know what to tell you. So people are real worried, right? I mean, this is people's livelihoods, right? And so everyone's worried, kind of sharpening up their resumes and things like that. And the worst part for me was the managers actually had a say in who got to stay or go. They had about, maybe like 50% influence over the decision that we made. And I know what that meant for me. My ass was out of there. I was actually pretty close to one of the managers and I had asked what my chances were. You've been in the manager's meeting. How are things looking for old Lundy over here? She couldn't tell me, but she looked and said, dead man walking. So I'm like, damn. So cut day comes and, everyone's nervous. And one of the very first names that they say is Debbie. You see, the managers were also being downsized. And the very first one to go was Debbie. I'm telling y'all, Debbie was trash. She sucked so bad. So she's out of there, right? And now me, I'm still nervous. I don't know what's going on. First wave comes and goes. I'm still around. I actually end up landing on the team of the manager that I was pretty close with. So that was pretty great. Next wave comes. I'm still around. So I actually end up surviving. Debbie's gone. I stay. I'm with a manager that I like anyway. Sometimes that's just how things work out. I don't know what to tell you. And so years later, I'm actually gone from that job. I moved on and I was on LinkedIn and, you know how they have that little section that says, people you may know or people you have network connection with. I don't know. I see Debbie's name and it says that she's a director of a senior citizens home or something like that. I'm sure she was driving those old folks crazy up there in New Jersey somewhere, dragon breath still going and everything. She sucked and I'm sure she continues to suck. Now, me, on the other hand, till this day, I've never made that mistake again. What I do now when I talk shit on people is I type my shit talking into the body of the message and then I put the name there. Then I double check it. Then clickety clack, enter. Thank you.